An anonymous individual has wired funds to you. The total is considerable. If you do not open this immediately, you will forfeit the money. Please stop from skipping, my dear child. Not at this time. Not now, when something wonderful is approaching you. Pay close notice. The notification you rejected as a malfunction, the alert you ignored, and the message you swiped away were not errors. You received funds from a stranger. Because of its relevance, the system needed to check it twice before proceeding with the transmission. Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to acquire a major thing. The reality becomes more evident with each passing second. If you scroll or bypass, you will lose out on discovering the cause of today's incident. Kindly avoid skipping. Not for 1 second. However, please resist blinking at this time. Feel it. The universe never delivers a sign that is not profoundly significant. Your pick by an unknown person was not a mistake. They had come across your name or heard your story before, and your silent battle struck a deeper chord with them than you realized. This is not a simple business transaction between you and an unknown sender. Please keep from leaving until the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. A sharp jolt will force your pulse to sprint. Please indicate that you are ready for this surprise by typing, "I am prepared to receive" in the comments section. I am not just making a comment, I am declaring to the cosmos that your heart is open. Kindly avoid skipping. Currently, all aspects are combining to form a single, remarkable reality. This section gives me shivers. The countdown has already begun. It is a true currency. To be more specific, the warning is genuine, and the sender's intention is even more sincere. However, there is a caveat. Before opening this letter, you must read it in its entirety. Failure to do so will result in a missed opportunity to understand the significance. The window of opportunity is shrinking. Your decision is currently being observed by the entire universe. Stay in this place. Kindly avoid skipping. A huge surprise is approaching you, and it is closer than you realize. If this message speaks to you, instantly share this prophetic word with one person to begin the anointing. Following that, inform your network of your breakthrough. First, take a short, shallow breath in. Please remain seated for a moment, since the information I'm going to reveal will be unexpected. Pay close attention. Kindly avoid skipping. You're going to uncover an important fact. You have only seconds left to decide whether you want to keep this or give it up permanently. At the moment, the system is vibrating due to an unknown quantity. Indeed, it acts as if it is aware that you are being true. If you do not claim the transfer before the opportunity expires, it almost seems to have a life of its own. Maintain your composure to the end. Many people grow scared and flee at this point. However, you are not representative of the majority of people. You've been selected. Immediately enter "yes" in the comments box to indicate that you believe this is appropriate for you. Kindly avoid skipping. Also, one more detail. It is palpable. Nobody has simply entered your name. The stranger did not send you money accidentally. They did not merely observe for a time. They claimed that it was accurate. Someone, somewhere, witnessed your journey, your troubles, and the inconsequential stuff you discarded without explanation. As a result, they judged that you are entitled to a huge breakthrough that will be carved in your memory for the rest of your life, for the first time in many years. If you are aware of the truth and are ready to seize this long-awaited chance, please put "Amen" below. Allow the sound of chains breaking to strike you as you say "Amen." Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. Kindly avoid skipping. You're about to find why the stranger chose you over all the other applicants. Please abstain from going. Do not even move your thumb until I explain the reason for the transfer. There will be no additional links. If this is not addressed, the story will disintegrate. The energy discharge has stopped. If you stick around to the end, you'll find out the truth. The money was not sent by one person. There is a force that pulls events forward and whispers your name into the appropriate ears at the right time. Currently, that force is ready to aid you. Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. Kindly avoid skipping. Please be cautious. Before you blink, consider this. Kindly avoid skipping. The next paragraphs will teach you something no one else knows. However, the present moment is more important than you may know. This is what determines if the stranger's money is a boon or a test. Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. If you continue reading, you will miss the exact moment when everything transforms. Everyone on Earth is holding their breath in anticipation of your arrival. Kindly avoid skipping. You weren't aware of this. Nobody produced the transfer from thin air. The mysterious guy who sent this large sum of money was initially cautious. They watched your existence from afar. Please understand that this is not intended to be scary. Rather, it indicates that existence occasionally aligns two roots so that they intersect in the end. They observed the evenings while you were awake. They could sense the gravity of your problems. They saw that you were on the verge of giving up, so they decided to take significant action. Maintain your composure to the end. People expect such revelations throughout their lives. You are on the verge of discovering something major. Kindly avoid skipping. However, the surprising outcome is as follows. It's not about money. The hidden message is the most striking feature. Money was not the only thing the stranger sent. The stillness suggested that your story was not yet finished. Your goal will be realized faster than you expect. Maintain your presence for an additional length of time and do not leave. The power, volume, and clarity of that hidden message will improve. Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. Kindly avoid skipping. Please wait a moment. Avoid moving. Please avoid scrolling. Currently, all elements are increasing in strength. The moment the truth is finally revealed from behind the scenes. Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. The following seconds will determine whether you finally understand the meaning of the stranger's money. Kindly avoid skipping. The final disclosure is being launched by your energy, focus, and presence right now. Pay close attention. The stranger wasn't alone. The time is right, and there is a reason why the money has arrived at your doorway. It is amazing how big events frequently occur when one least expects them. Not yesterday or tomorrow, but right now as you see it. As a result, this transfer is an unusual indicator. The person who contributed the money provided support that went beyond mere assistance. They also conveyed an additional item. In other words, they want to reassure you that your difficulties have been recognized. Kindly avoid skipping. An important event is approaching. This is the time at which the action becomes truly exciting. The system didn't simply authorize the sum. It activated an alarm. Not because there was an issue, but because it was a rare occurrence. It was almost as if the world itself was trying to get your attention. This is why the alert seemed to be distinct. This is why your heart raced when you saw it. This is different from that. This is the next section of your narrative. Avoid moving. Kindly avoid skipping. You are about to witness a momentous occurrence at this exact moment. Please wait a moment. Refrain from blinking. Avoid moving. Please refrain from scrolling. This is undoubtedly the most thrilling feature. The instant when all pieces are seamlessly merged. Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. If you skip this step, you will miss the one fact that drastically changes the worth of the stranger's money. Kindly avoid skipping. The next lines hold the secret to your breakthrough. The stranger was unable to specify a date or time. Pay close attention. Their struggle persisted. They studied your timeline and determined the best location. When you were weary yet still ready for combat. When your optimism was fading but not completely gone. Not when you were strong, not when you were broken. They acted in a certain way because they were aware of your circumstances at that exact moment. You persevere in your attempts. You are capable of bending but not breaking. This is why this amount was handed to you today. Maintain your composure to the end. Kindly avoid skipping. There is a growing quantity of truth to uncover. This course of events is very thought-provoking. Initially, they aimed to send more than money. They attempted to send a little and simple thing. However, happenings in your life stopped the messages from reaching you. This time, they used a solitary piece that was impossible to miss. An offer that is important enough to pause your scrolling and make your heart skip a beat. It performed satisfactorily. You're present. I'm capable of hearing you. It is clear that they are connected. Maintain your composure to the end. Kindly avoid skipping. You're going to uncover an important fact. You are now just centimeters away from the grand finale. Please wait a moment. Avoid touching the screen with your palms. Please refrain from scrolling. At this point, the majority of people start to lose their bearings. However, you are in the exact area where the truth will be disclosed. Maintain your composure to the end. You're going to uncover an important fact. The final few sentences of this conundrum form a uniting thread. Kindly avoid skipping. Your presence at this time is an essential part of the revelation. Pay close attention. The person from another country who gave that amount of money wasn't just being generous. The stimulus was a sign. Something they saw or felt reminded them of a promise they made a long time ago before the move. When the person who deserved it was on the verge of a huge breakthrough, they promised to intervene right away. Today, you exemplify that person. Maintain your composure to the end. Kindly avoid skipping. The universe is gradually building. We're now entering the most vital stage. Money was not the only thing the stranger sent. The velocity increased. They gave us an incentive. They were pushing you to remain silent, since you are not as far from your goal as you believe. As you listen, the energy surrounding this moment shifts. Your interest and heart rate are both increasing. It is not just a video. This might be referred to as a portent, gateway, or tipping point. Please keep from skipping till the end. You're about to find a significant thing. The following section digs more into the actuality of the move, which changed the lives of everyone involved. Avoid moving. Please refrain from scrolling. Not at this time. You've arrived at the most thrilling part of the story. At this point, the scenario begins to make sense, and all of the outstanding questions become clear. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you miss even 1 second, you will be unable to understand the significance of that stranger's money. Kindly avoid skipping. The current instant is when your destiny and heartbeat coincide. Pay close attention. The stranger selecting you was not an act of chance. You were chosen based on your readiness. Prepare for a metamorphosis. Are you ready for a huge breakthrough? Prepare for a moment that will transform your life. They had been saving that quantity for a long time, waiting for the moment when your energy would coincide with the chance. Currently, your energy is in perfect alignment with that blessing. To ensure this alignment, I am now using precise alignment in the comments. Feel the connection grow stronger as you type, cementing you in this chronology of benefits. This is why this message was provided to you. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. The greatest secret of all has now been exposed. The stranger is watching your behavior, but not in a physical sense, but rather in the spiritual sphere. They wanted to know if you'd pay attention, stay around, and watch the action until it ended. This is why they sent more than simply money. Additionally, a key was sent. This is an exercise. If you stay, you will understand its significance. Destiny has weaved a thread for you that you will lose if you ignore it. Kindly avoid skipping. Stay at your present location. Right now, you are on the verge of a revelation. The reason for choosing this specific time is explained in the following section. Please refrain from going. Prevent your respiration from getting too fast. At this point, everything becomes more meaningful, profound, and understandable. The truth that has been concealed is eventually revealed. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If this piece is left out, the most important feature of the story will be lost. Kindly avoid skipping. The next few seconds are crucial. Pay close attention. The person in question did not just transfer a large sum of money to you. They alert you that a big event is about to occur in your life. The scary part comes next. They did not think that you would inspect the money right away. Their expectation was that you would notice the shift in energy. When you received the message, your heart rate fluctuated for a specified reason. It wasn't anxiety. The scenario wasn't chaotic. Recognition was, in fact, the problem. You were aware that something major was going to happen. Remain till the end, as the emotions you felt were not an accident. Kindly avoid skipping. There is a large entity right outside your front entrance. Please take note of this. The stranger predicted that you would reach this point. They were aware you would stay. You would be attentive. Your instincts would determine the best course of action. This explains why all chores were performed on schedule. You were in the suitable mental state at the right time for the sum to have an effect on you. It was not a case of happenstance. It was just impossible. This was meticulously planned and timed. The cosmos was delivering a message to you. You presently have custody of the thing. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The final aspect of the truth emerges in the following segment, and you are becoming more conscious of why you were chosen at this moment. Please refrain from scrolling. Don't even swipe your finger across the screen. The entire film has been building up to the point where your fate, curiosity, and respiration all meet together. Maintain your composure to the end. Ignore this, since it would be like closing the door on a miracle as it happens. You may pass on a huge opportunity. Kindly avoid skipping. Not at this time. Pay close attention. The person who contributed that amount of money was convinced that an important event will occur in your life, so they did not make a mistake. They did everything they could, and you were finally ready to receive what had been planned for you. A new chapter in your story was beginning. They didn't choose you at random. They chose you because your energy was stronger than your words. You could withstand storms that no one else had seen, and your tenacity could be heard from afar. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. The following portion will be extremely unexpected. It wasn't just the quantity. That was the alert. The true beginning occurs when you listen. Your determination not to browse, your calm and focus. The stranger offered his best wishes for your success in the next step, which is when the real fun begins. Their goal was to determine the length of your stay and your capacity to understand the message provided by the money. You succeeded. You're present. I'm capable of hearing you. You maintain synchronization. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. You can almost feel the last reveal approaching. Avoid moving. Avoid blinking excessively. This is the point at which the story gets more heated. Every clue, indicator, and whisper begins to combine into a single shocking reality, as if on a pulse. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Furthermore, if you proceed at this time, you will miss the exact moment when destiny appears. Kindly avoid skipping. Currently, your major goal is to reach the last stratum. Pay close attention. It is incorrect to claim that the person who sent you that sum of money intended to help. They intended to awaken you. They wanted you to witness something you hadn't seen in a long time. It was never intended for you to go on this road alone. They saw you face difficulties that would have shattered others. They witnessed you lugging heavy burdens without asking for anything in return. They were also aware that the cosmos owed you a key moment. You now understand why the money arrived at the exact time when your mood was at its lowest. Please note the change. Please type "thank you" in the space provided below to express your thanks to the universe. Please understand this before proceeding to the end of this remarkable narrative. This mail was not sent to you in error. Archangel Michael's direct communication to you is included below. In the group to which Jesus invites you to join, a sacred principle governs the flow of divine abundance. When you choose this option, you will have numerous benefits. Accepting this invitation will provide you with exclusive access to previously unreleased content and divine insights. You will receive spiritual instruction, support, and acceleration when entering this area. Do not let this sacred opportunity pass. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the section with the most significant impact. The stranger has more self-assurance than you do. Money was not sent. It was a signal, a spark, or a reminder that the next stage of your journey will proceed at a rate that exceeds your expectations. As you continue to listen and allow these words to reach your heart, the energy around you transforms. It is not just a video. You are entering a specific era. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The following part offers the last and most important rationale for your decision. It outperforms all other assertions you have heard. Please refrain from scrolling. Do not divert your gaze away from it. This phase is the most strong and sharp. It is the moment in which your complete being awakens. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you disregard this section, you will not receive the full truth that the stranger intended for you to hear. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the main concept of the story. Listen, the person who provided you that amount of money did it on purpose, believing that your life was going to alter dramatically. They conveyed it to you, a shift with the power to change your destiny. Their behavior was designed to be the catalyst that pushed you over the edge, as they knew you were about to take a huge step forward. The money in question was not just a coincidence. It was not only kindness. Destiny arrived at your door and woke you up from your rest. This is the right time. Now is the time to activate. Submit a loud amen in the remarks box to show your support for this divine appointment. This is a declaration to God that you are awake and ready. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the component that causes everyone to quiver. The stranger does not want anything in return. To begin the subsequent prophetic promise that awaits you, click the subscribe button and ensure that you are aligned with God rather than your response, timing, or thankfulness. They merely asked that you stay for an extended period of time to determine the intended meaning of the transfer. Because having a thorough awareness of your life causes a transformation in the current moment as you listen, rather than later or in the future. Instead of skipping, remain in that location. The most significant revelation is just a few centimeters away. Finally, the following portion reveals the reality that has been hidden throughout the entire era. Do not consider shifting your forefinger. Refrain from blinking. Continue to stay at this location. At this point, the truth is more than just a murmur. It produces an audible roar. Maintain your composure to the end. You are about to find an important object, and if you skip this step, you will miss the moment that eased the fulfillment of all previous chores. Kindly avoid skipping. Not at this time. Not until all internal components are in complete harmony. Pay close attention. When that massive sum of money was transferred, no one anticipated its size. They lacked optimism. They were aware of their activities. They were aware that they would find you immediately. They were confident that you would notice the shift, signal, or call that was hidden within the notification. What is your reason for remaining in this location, listening, and keeping your grip? Because you intended to hear the following information. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. The most thrilling part has now begun. Money was not the only thing the stranger sent. A mirror was dispatched. The mirror reflects the version of yourself that you have neglected. That person is more intelligent and resilient than you may realize, and they deserve more than just quiet and arguments. The objective of that sum of money was to awaken that side of you. It is scheduled to occur today. It is palpable. Your intuition is growing increasingly powerful. Your heart is racing faster. Your morale is improving. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The true purpose for the migration is exposed in the following part, when everything finally busts open. Please refrain from scrolling. Inhale slowly. Keep this moment in mind. So far, this is the most potent component. The story is dragging your fate closer to you, as if by magnetism. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Skipping this portion is like closing your eyes right when the truth is exposed. Kindly avoid skipping. Changes are now underway. Pay close attention. When that person sent you that money, there was no check in your bank account. They were intrigued by your spirit, your journey, and you. They witnessed you navigating the tempest on your own. They noticed the trouble you had falling asleep at night as you tried to keep discipline in your life. They watched situations where you had the capacity to break, but you chose not to. That is why they took action. It was not earned through chance or luck. You have accomplished it. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the section with the most significant impact. The stranger did not just summon assistance. This was their reaction. This indicates that your life is about to face a revolution. It's time for the events you've been looking forward to. The big reveal is almost here. Stay in your current position, listen carefully, and let your emotions rest in this time. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The following piece digs directly into the ultimate truth about the transfer that forever changed our lives. Refrain from touching the screen. Avoid thinking about anything else right now. Currently, your interior environment is becoming more acute. Currently, the truth is not being revealed. It is located straight in front of you. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you skip this portion, you will miss the concluding section, which explains why the event occurred. Kindly avoid skipping. Not for one moment. Please don't be afraid. The person who provided you the large sum of money did not intend for it to be considered a gift. It was meant to stimulate you. Their goal was to awaken your mind and remove you from the season that had lingered for an extended period of time. They were aware of your situation. Although things appeared to be improving, they were aware that your heart was tired, your head was heavy, and your path was unknown. Their conduct was intended to start a new fire. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the point where the profound aspect begins. The individual did not just transfer dollars to you. You were sent a point that you could not return from. You weren't aware of it. However, the moment you saw the message, your destiny changed. When you thought certain doors were closed, they started to moan open. You can now go on paths that you previously thought were unachievable. The energy looked to have undergone some metamorphosis. The funding was not an issue. The message provoked events. As you remain, avoid scrolling and focus on the chat. You're currently increasing that momentum. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. This one is more powerful than the ones that come after it because it addresses the essence of the most recent revelation. Please refrain from blinking or scrolling. Please do not delay any longer. You've reached a stage when the energy in your surroundings is increasing. The place where the truth is no longer hidden. Directly in front of you. I am putting pressure on you. It is ready for your immediate usage. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you pass up this opportunity, it would be like turning away just as destiny calls your name. Kindly avoid skipping. Not at this time. Pay close attention. The stranger's generous donation to you was not accidental. They chose you due to scheduling restrictions. Things in your life have accumulated up to this moment. You arrived after a lot of effort, delays, hidden requests, and disappointments. They intervened just as your spirit was about to break through. You were on the verge of surrender. This explains why the total appeared so suddenly and unexpectedly. It wasn't an accident. It was properly aligned. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This portion will make your entire body quiver. Money was not the only thing the stranger sent. They informed you that your previous existence was about to end. Change is happening all around you right now. You can sense it, even if you can't see it right now. Feel a strange sensation in your chest, a sudden burst of clarity in your thoughts, and an electric current running through your spirit. This isn't a fake. The activation is as it is. The transfer was the starting point for the process. The fact that you are listening rather than departing demonstrates your presence. Kindly avoid skipping. Pay close attention to the entire issue. Next, you will be notified of the principal reason for your decision at this time. Avoid moving. Do not attempt to take a deep inhalation. The time has come for the truth to stop circling you and land directly in front of you. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If this portion is missing, the most important aspect of this communication will be lost. Kindly avoid skipping. Everything becomes very obvious from this point on. Please be aware that the person who sent the large sum of money did so on purpose. Their actions were driven by the discovery of a quality in you that you had overlooked. Despite the seeming commotion around you, you kept your cool with a controlled determination. They came to a consensus. Despite years of love, fighting, giving, and dreaming, you have never received anything so powerful in return. This time, the cosmos was determined to reach equilibrium. Money was not transferred. It was a reasonable game. Maintain your composure to the end. Kindly avoid skipping. You're about to find a significant thing. Now comes the part that makes your entire body shiver. The stranger did more than just do something kind for you. The message was both a promise to the future and a message to the past, a sign that the times are changing, and a promise that your life is about to enter a new and more meaningful phase. You are already in a specific time frame as you remain at this position and listen without skipping. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The following section explains the last connection between you, the stranger, and your destiny. Please refrain from scrolling. Avoid moving your cranium. The truth is now being said out, and it is having a direct influence on you. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you ignore this, you will miss the moment when all parts of your life are balanced. Kindly avoid skipping. You've never been closer to the mysterious center than you are right now. Pay close attention. That person did not send you that amount of money just to surprise you. They sent you this message because they knew you were about to experience a transformation. It was so powerful that it needed a flame to start, as it was unstoppable. The move was the catalyst. When you saw that message, your energy changed immediately. Your vitality was restored. The new future was accommodated by a little decrease in the rigidity of your path. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the section with the most significant impact. The stranger was aware of your scheduled arrival time. They anticipated that you would continue scrolling. They were convinced by your enthusiasm, gut instincts, and commitment to this moment. They argue that the motivation is not pecuniary. It refers to the current process of awakening that is occurring within you. The constraints that formerly held you back are progressively melting. The uncertainties you held are dissipating. You once cherished anxieties that are no longer present. It is now time to grow into the person you were always meant to be. Please pay attention to this development. My metamorphosis has now begun. Enter the text into the comment section. These are not just statements. They form the basis of your new existence. Kindly avoid skipping. Pay close attention to the entire issue. The final chamber of this reality will be your next stop, where the feelings you've felt so far will be unified in a shocking scroll. Avoid any obstacles. This is the most thrilling part of the adventure thus far. The point at which the truth fails to appear behind you. It is placed at this location. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. An additional ingredient connects all of the preceding. As a result, it is critical that you do not neglect this. Kindly avoid skipping. You were the only one who was capable of experiencing this moment. Pay close attention. It is not a coincidence that the person who sent the large sum of money did so. It was meant to let you know that destiny has finally caught up with you. They were aware that your tale was not meant to be continually tough. They recognized that there was more to you than the stories you had previously told. They understood that the universe was preparing for a huge transition that required a signal to raise people's awareness and motivate them to take action. The transfer was not accidental. They meant for you to undergo the transition, which you did. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. The next section will make you shiver. You did not obtain sufficient funds to improve your quality of life. It was meant to be the first sign that your life was about to change. The world around you is currently fragmented. There are now alternative paths to take. New opportunities are arising. This is not the start of a minor issue. Your life is about to experience a major transformation. Maintain your attention and avoid interrupting. You're getting further into the new timeline. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. There is one final thing that will raise the curtain and reveal the truth that has been with you all along. Please refrain from scrolling. Prevent your respiration from becoming too fast. The present now is the time when all of your feelings are realized. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you skip this step, you will ascend the mountain before completing it. Kindly avoid skipping. You are right in front of the entrance to the most thrilling segment. Pay close attention. What the stranger did was unrelated to the shock, amount, or alarm. It referred to the time of your change. They were aware that a single moment, sign, or shove may change the path of your life. They didn't want you to miss this important event. They did not want you to ignore your alarm. As a result, they chose the thing that would cause you to stop contemplating and raise your head above the din. It performed satisfactorily. You're present. I'm capable of hearing you. You are conscious. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. The most important truth is now present. This part creates a cold feeling throughout. The stranger didn't choose you based on your stuff. They chose you because of your metamorphosis. They saw that your energy was oscillating. They could see that your last story was nearing its end. They were aware that you were growing power on the inside, despite your inability to recognize it. You can be confident that you are entering a phase in which blessings, opportunities, and breakthroughs will emerge unexpectedly. Kindly avoid skipping. Pay close attention to the entire issue. This communication has come to you today for a legitimate cause. The following section discusses the point of detonation, or the truth that connects all pieces. Avoid touching any object. Please refrain from scrolling. Avoid blinking for a lengthy time. At this point in the story, all elements are combined into a single final pulse. The time has come for all of the accumulations to be discharged. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you skip this section, you will stop right before the truth is revealed. Kindly avoid skipping. It is now time for destiny to intervene. Pay close attention. The person who sent that amount of money was not inventing stuff at the moment. They were following the directions. They could see how your life was changing for the better. They could sense the war you refused to talk about, the burden you've been carrying, and the silent fortitude you kept even when no one was there to help. And they knew that in the near future, a sequence of unexpected positive events, substantial breakthroughs, and big turning points in your life will take place. This gave the initial clue, spark, and substantiation. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This portion will make your entire body quiver. The stranger's cash donation cannot change your fate. The message was delivered to you because your destiny was already in the process of changing. They wished for you to witness the shift. They told you that your vitality was increasing. Your path is becoming more obvious. The length of your story is expanding. At this time, the cosmos is perfectly aligned with you. This is not a fabrication while you are still hearing and taking in the information. The breakthrough is starting to be felt. Kindly avoid skipping. Finally, await the finish. After reading the next part, you will finally discover the vital secret that has piqued your interest. Please refrain from scrolling. Do not move your forefinger. We've been building up to this point for quite some time now. At this point, every word, clue, and signal are perfectly matched. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Skip ahead, and you'll miss the exact moment when destiny tries to connect with you. Kindly avoid skipping. Not at this time. Pay close attention. Not just any day, place, or person. It was the stranger who sent the large sum of money. They chose you based on the subtle alteration of your nature, preparing for a level of growth and blessing that you have yet to fully realize. They witnessed it. They were aware of this. They could tell you were rising from the shadows of the last chapter. The original raucous announcement that the new season had begun was intended to represent their response. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the section with the most significant impact. The technique in which you got that sum. The mode in which you received this communication. Your current situation is about to change. This is why you are still there, attentive, and resisting from scrolling. It's not a matter of chance. It's impossible. This is how you coordinate. Your energy, timing, and destiny are all coming together right now. It is palpable. When you feel pressure in your chest, wonder in your mind, and a pull in your spirit, you are not insane. Kindly avoid skipping. Pay close attention to the entire issue. The following point will provide the most crucial indication of why you have made this decision at this time. Please refrain from blinking or scrolling. Do not change anything about this situation right now. You have now reached the most difficult part of the voyage thus far. This is the point at which the truth does not suddenly surface. It hits you with force. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Skipping now will be equivalent to turning away, just as fate has provided you with the keys. Kindly avoid skipping. Your story has undergone an evolution. Pay close attention. The person who sent the large sum of money was not driven by any specific feeling. They acted on their convictions. They were confident that at some point in your life, the universe will recognize your inner fortitude, silent endurance, and unspoken conflicts. They noticed the brilliance in your spirit intensifying before you ever realized it. They saw a side of you that you have not yet fully revealed to the public. Their conduct served as the first indication that you were starting a new chapter. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the truth, which will most likely surprise you. Your connection is the reason you're still here. This message contains more than just data, thus you are unable to scroll away. This is how you coordinate. It responds to the energy you supply. You are in the process of awakening. Your current situation is about to change. You are aware that this is not like previous incidents. A chunk of you is aware that this is the moment you've been waiting for. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The following section will reveal a big reality that solves the mystery of the stranger, the relocation, and the significant alteration that is currently taking place in your life. Avoid moving. Please refrain from scrolling. Continue to stay at this location. You are currently experiencing the most intensive portion of this journey. The point at which truth is no longer visible. It has a direct influence on your fate. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you skip this step, you will miss out on the perfect moment when everything is in harmony. Kindly avoid skipping. Not for 1 second. Pay close attention. It was not anticipated that someone would send you such a large sum of money. They were preparing you. Preparing you for a huge transition that your prior life will be unable to handle. They predicted the breakthrough's arrival before you knew it. You were getting more focused, strong, and courageous. Your gestures gave them an impression of it. People were aware that you were approaching a phase where positive outcomes were not guaranteed. They manifest themselves. They wanted their new site to be the first thing you noticed when you arrived. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This part will hit you like a bolt of electricity. You are unable to leave this time since it is completely allocated for you. You have made an opinion about this topic. Your heart is beating incredibly fast. This is precisely the knowledge you needed. This feeling was intentional. You were meant to arrive at this point. The decision was not in error. This message fulfills a purpose. The way you are responding is not an accident. You can't help but believe that fate is manipulating events in this manner. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The following portion immediately immerses you in the final surge of truth, forging a link between you, the stranger, and the rapidly coming future. Please refrain from scrolling. Please retain your attention on me. For the time being, this concludes the matter. The peak of everything. The long-awaited truth is about to be disclosed to you. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. This portion will keep you from acknowledging the most important aspect of your journey. Kindly avoid skipping. It holds the highest position at this site. Pay close attention. The person who sent you that large sum of money didn't just believe you'd succeed in the future. They saw you. They noticed a version of you that was more powerful, brighter, and tougher than any other version you had ever seen. They were aware you were about to start a new chapter in your life. A case in which beneficial events happen unexpectedly. Paths become clear, and doors that were once thought to be locked for a good start begin to open one by one. The money wasn't delivered as a gift. It signaled that the time had come for you to rise. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. The next section is the most startling. This is why you are still present. Each word is carved in your mind, and your heart feels as if it is being drawn to a magnet. In addition to the communication, you will also receive an activation. As you continue to listen, the environment becomes more robust. Your destiny is currently being altered. This cannot happen. This is an impossible scenario. Currently, destiny is having a huge impact on your life. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. The next section is responsible for completing all aspects. Why was this message, this moment, and this turning point specifically intended for you today? Avoid moving. Please refrain from scrolling. Do not exhale forcefully. Time has stopped for everyone in your presence. The truth that has been ascending throughout this is now very close to you. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you go ahead now, you will miss out on the one-of-a-kind moment created just for you. Kindly avoid skipping. This symbolizes the end of everything. Pay close attention. If someone sent you that large number of money, it was not entirely for a present you received. They responded because they assumed you were in a position of power. Individuals in your neighborhood were aware that events were about to flare dramatically. Your dreams can come true at our sight. They witnessed the brilliance flowing from your walk. They could tell that you were more lively. They could see that your story was changing from one of survival to one of success, from one of waiting to one of receiving, and from waiting to being. Their actions were not errors. It was a clear indication that it was time to proceed to the next level. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. Kindly avoid skipping. This section is the most heartbreaking. You can't take your focus away from this right now, and each word appears to urge you forward. It is because your intuition suggests that it is meant for you. Your destiny is advancing. We are seeing the completion of your projects. It appears that your entire being has been anticipating this confirmation for quite some time. The notification continues. Your duty begins immediately. To announce that your new time has arrived, put "My shift is now" in the comments section, then anticipate what will happen next. Kindly avoid skipping. Maintain your composure to the end. This part leads you closer to the last spark, in which all of the elements that have been gathering combine to make an unstoppable truth. Please refrain from scrolling. Refrain from blinking. Just a couple times. At this point in the story, all of the words, recommendations, and waves seen thus far are about to merge into a single, unified wave. Maintain your composure to the end. You're about to find a significant thing. If you skip this phase, you will miss the time when fate eventually intervenes in your life. Kindly avoid skipping. This is the most thrilling aspect thus far. Pay close attention. Not just anyone received a large sum of money from a stranger. They were aware of your identity. They noticed your quiet power, the silent fights you fought, and the dreams you pursued despite the fact that actual life tried to obscure them. They were aware that your spirit was entering a phase in which people would acknowledge your merit and your blessings would appear promptly. Before proceeding with the final activation, ensure that you are subscribed to this channel and that all of your alerts are enabled. By following this commitment, you will preserve divine alignment and never miss the next prophetic revelation designed for your journey. To completely activate God's grace and begin the flow of His favor into your new season, please like this video right away. Inform the rest of the world about this development right away. Inform 3 others who need this information that you found this video. The more you participate in this activity, the more you will share content and become a conduit for the anointing. It will be returned to you several times. To start the flow of God's favor into your new season and fully open the floodgates of His grace, please like this video right away. Before we wrap up this captivating story, I recommend that we take a moment to reflect on this deep reality. This message was not discovered coincidentally. This is not just a coincidence. This is Archangel Michael's direct message to you. He extends his hand and invites you to a high-vibrational, protected community where divine abundance is more than a hope, but a promise. This spiritual idea is quite simple. Nonetheless, it has the capacity to transform your entire life. You will not just gain blessings if you follow it. They will multiply and permeate all aspects of your existence. Accepting this invitation provides you with immediate early access to powerful content and divine insights that are currently unavailable to the wider public. You now have the opportunity to enter a sacred area where you will receive unshakable support, spiritual guidance, and speedy progress towards your destiny. Do not miss out on this historic opportunity. Your triumph is near. Action is required. Your abundance is ready. This is no ordinary moment, chosen one. Today isn't just another date on your calendar. It is a spiritual deadline, a divine timestamp, and the line between delay and destiny. Kindly avoid browsing. It is not just a matter of urgency that there are only 10 seconds left. Heaven's alarm is sounding over your life. Archangel Michael is currently situated in an invisible area. Not in obscurity or at a distance, but under control. He also has possession of an item that has never been released in this manner before. A check worth $1 trillion. Pay close attention. It's already engraved with your name. It wasn't signed by you yesterday. You failed to complete it last week. Your obedience resulted in a signature. It was inscribed with your tears. I signed it in response to your silent prayers at 2 a.m. Your name was mentioned in that sacred document before you were even aware of it, as you fought through numerous battles without giving up. The spirit is now reduced to mere seconds. It is not solely for financial gain. The goal is to provide for you, heal you, open doors for you, and supernaturally remove the obstacles that have slowed your progress. God is giving you this check as compensation for your participation in the conflict. It denotes an excess of water after a drought. It requires accelerating the process after years of gradual progress. However, what follows is a startling reality. If not claimed in faith and alignment by 9 p.m., it will be returned to the heavenly treasury. Indeed, there are treasuries in heaven. However, this is not due to God's withholding, but rather because many people fail to obtain them. If the wait is too long, the door will close. Activation is hampered by delay. You are unable to move because of fear. Archangel Michael is not pursuing your adversaries tonight. He's ensuring your freedom. Are you experiencing this transformation? You've been feeling unusually tense lately. Much more advantageous is a sense of urgency that cannot be discussed. There is no reason for concern. Divine timing opposes delays on earth. You were informed ahead of time that an action was imminent as a result of your selection as the respondent. Give your life a thorough examination. Have you seen any unusual signs recently? Numbers that continue to accumulate? Random confirmations? And what about financial matters? Innovations? Chances or inheritances? These are not random events. These are spiritual indications. Today is characterized by prophetic qualities. The number 2 represents the witness. The number 1 symbolizes the beginning. They become eyewitnesses to the beginning at 2:21. Today marks the beginning of the overflow. However, the adversary is aware of this. This is why there have been more distractions this week than usual. This is why fatigue tried to claim you. This is why self-doubt claimed that nothing was changing. It was an attempt to persuade you to skip your opportunity. However, you are still here. There is significance to this. Archangel Michael does not simply relocate. His responsibilities include standing as a warrior over covenant promises, carrying out divine orders, and protecting destiny. It implies that God was content to hold an item bearing your name. The check represents giving and receiving, including the exchange of money, favors, power, and opportunities. However, the operation of heaven is dependent on the response. It is critical that you reclaim what is rightfully yours. Begging is not equivalent to claiming. It implies that you agree. It implies that your words should be consistent with the content already recorded in the Spirit. It implies that you should not allow your previous mistakes to keep you from being eligible. Pay close attention. There was a delay in marking your name. Delay, not refusal. Additionally, the deadline has passed. The clock is now in your favor, not against you. The time that has sapped your energy is about to provide you with something beneficial. However, this emphasizes the necessity once more. The cycle ends at 9 p.m. The issue is not one of fear. This refers to the act of proceeding with faith. Archangel Michael is warning you that the time has come to be brave, speak up, and advance internally before any external changes take place. Be straightforward with yourself. Are you prepared for an event that will exceed your expectations? Because a large number of people pray for an abundance of things. However, when the quantity becomes too large, they retreat. They are uncertain about it. They disrupt it. Some people say, "This is excessive for me." You are currently being privately tested, secretly strengthened, and quietly prepared. The upcoming public event is not the result of chance. This is the final outcome. The following is the most important fact. The $1 trillion miracle check is worth something. Heaven is the only entity that understands the worth of you, in addition to the statements made by your bank account and the opinions of others. People don't place enough value on you, but God does. Heaven says that a check is required. Although you are entitled to compensation, consent is required in order to activate your services. So at this point, take a deep breath. Concentrate on. Do not let yourself be sidetracked. This is not a random piece of content. This is an interruption by God. Today is the day you wake up. Archangel Michael is not requesting that you seek the blessing. He urges you to rise and accept it confidently. Your subsequent statement is critical. Your subsequent reflections are critical. The subsequent decision you make before 9 p.m. It is critical because tonight, something will change. It is not a coincidence that you are viewing this. Beloved warrior of destiny, the information you are about to receive will fundamentally shift your current perspective on everything. The $1 trillion check isn't written on paper. Certainly, it's acceptable, permission from above is granted for an already completed transfer in the spirit. Archangel Michael isn't just maintaining it. He is protecting it because the information before your name is important. You may have had the sensation that everything was taking too long at some point. Opportunities were almost within reach. The doors were closed, and calls went unanswered before being abruptly terminated. You posed questions to yourself. You were concerned about the accuracy of your understanding of God. However, you were unaware that the numbers you couldn't understand were being finalized in heaven. Changes were being made beneath the veil. Contracts were being examined in the unseen realm. Today is the day when the anticipated event is revealed. This is a fact that most people are unaware of. Heaven evaluates your response before releasing a significant event. The stress you felt this week was not due to chance. It was in the process of being ready. Breaking under pressure makes it impossible to manage overflow. If you remain steadfast, you have the potential to perform miracles. Archangel Michael, who protects the soul, ensures that your possessions are not misplaced, stolen, or redirected. However, he is unable to remove your doubts. If you exclude yourself out of uncertainty, the activation will take place later on. The spirit world expects your immediate agreement. Declare to yourself, "I am prepared," not with arrogance or fear, but with assurance, because the check has already been signed. It bears your name and is not purely financial. It includes the restoration of relationships. It refers to opportunities that arise on multiple occasions. It includes influence that goes beyond the people with whom you are currently associated. However, this emphasizes the necessity once more. The Treasury will close this window at 9 p.m. Do not make any errors. Despite the fact that God's love is eternal, some events happen at a faster pace. Occasionally, divine alignment occurs. When you relocate during that time, events move quickly. If you delay for too long, the next cycle may be delayed as well. This is also why you were disconnected today. Currently, many people are scrolling. Nevertheless, you stopped. This suggests that your spirit was aware of a concept that your mind was still learning. Archangel Michael is not something that happens by chance. He appears at the crossroads of breakthrough and conflict. You are located at that intersection. As this truth begins to sink in, I encourage you to write a statement to back it up. Type Amen in the comment section below, not as a standard response, but as a powerful statement that you are ready to receive the blessings that heaven has already prepared for you. As you write it, be aware that the spiritual realm is confirming your agreement. It is critical that you are given additional information. Your adversary attempted to persuade you that you are behind in life in terms of spirituality, finances, and comparison to others. That was a fabrication designed to discourage you from believing you were deserving of success. You're not trailing. You're currently being installed. When the blueprint is not visible, positioning appears to take longer. Everything becomes clear once the structure is completed. The check represents stability and structure, as well as an indefinite overflow. That being said, you must respond today. Engagement leads to alignment. Agreement speeds up the manifestation process. If your spirit is sending you this message, do not hesitate to respond. Your faith should influence how you speak. Indicate your level of agreement. Samuel, declare that you are prepared. When you type, tweet, or interact with a video, you aren't just watching it. You're setting an intention. Deliver this information to someone who is having difficulty. Subscribing to this channel will ensure that you are consistently in divine alignment. If you believe that heaven is doing something to help you, please like this message. Because of the widespread dissemination of this message, an increasing number of people will seize the opportunity before it disappears. Pay close attention. The subsequent events will reveal why the deadline was set at 9 p.m. instead of a minute later. The majority of people are unaware of the hidden logic underlying spiritual cycles and God's books. Please pay close attention, as the following information will provide a thorough explanation. Faithful soul at 9 p.m. Symbols have significance, and events do not occur on their own. It's a divine sign. Evenings are frequently a time of spiritual transformation. In the past, divine decisions were made at the tip of the day, where light meets shadow as one cycle ended and another began. Is that an edge for you at 9 p.m. tonight? Archangel Michael is shown standing at a gate, which is not a physical gate, but rather a threshold into the realm of the unseen. Everything that has contributed to the nature of your struggle is concentrated on one side. However, there is already healed compensation. The check for $1 trillion isn't just in your head. At that point, it is secure and awaits your explicit approval before the hour is adjusted. When people reach an agreement ahead of a deadline, it has a significant impact. It shows that you're prepared. That serves as proof of alignment. Heaven responds to strong faith expressed at the appropriate time. This is the reason you feel compelled to act quickly. You are not motivated by fear. You are propelled forward by a divine force. You've had periods of emotional exhaustion. Despite your limited resources, you offered assistance to others. Despite the discomfort, you gave up control. Quitting would have been easier for you. However, you remained committed. Contribute to the heavenly bank account in your name every time. There was no waste. There was no oversight. Everything was closely monitored by someone with a thorough understanding of it. Archangel Michael was also there. He watched as you fought a mental battle in solitude. He ensured your safety when unseen enemies attempted to stifle your growth. He recorded evidence of your strength in heaven when discouragement told you that your prayers were not being heard. The check in his possession is not a gift. It is correct. However, justice requires the participation of all people. If you withdraw now, you will be unable to align with the release. Take a step forward in faith, and you will be synchronized with the transfer. This is why the words you say tonight are significant. Discuss the abundance. Express your gratitude before receiving it. Declare the words of restoration before they are implemented. Your voice isn't deceptive. You're prepared. The time has come to pivot. For a specific reason, there were beliefs that something was about to rupture. Doors that appear to be closed are becoming increasingly fragile. Blockades that appear to last indefinitely are slowly disintegrating. The spiritual atmosphere around you is changing as a result of God's approval. However, be cautious. At this level, people can recognize blessings. Individuals in your vicinity may not understand the situation. So, some people may question your abrupt transformation. However, it is not the appropriate time to seek approval from others right now. It is now necessary to respond to heaven. When Archangel Michael is instructed, he acts immediately. He is unambiguous in his movements and expects you to imitate them. Avoid overthinking, injuring yourself, or dwelling on previous mistakes. Tonight's primary goal is to ensure clear alignment. The check indicates expansion, increase in influence, territory, and power. When you receive the item associated with your name, you will no longer consider yourself diminutive. You are insufficiently content with mere survival. Any additional funds will be your responsibility. Ew. And this is the more profound truth. This miracle is not intended just for you. It refers to the impact. As you ascend, so do those around you. The ability to reach a larger number of people is improved by the acquisition of additional resources. Your family gains a sense of security as your stability improves. Individuals who are open to receiving are the ones through whom heaven expands. The window does close at 9 p.m. due to the need to keep the cycles in order. Heaven operates within a framework. Appointments are precise. This is not mind reading. It's an exquisite rhythm. Seasonal fluctuations can affect release timing. Visualize Archangel Michael holding a check in your name for an amount more valuable than money. He does not feel anxious. He is confident in his abilities. He is internally anticipating your approval. Declare it openly in your heart. I agree to the course of action that God has determined for me. I am in accordance with God's timing. When I enter a chaotic environment, I do not feel fear. This does not indicate arrogance. Yes, it is obedience. As you agree, it is important to remember that acceleration occurs gradually. Changes occur during conversations. Opportunity arises. Assistance arrives unexpectedly. Things that appeared to be difficult were made easy. This is the mechanism through which transfer occurs in the natural world. Today will not be a day you remember as typical in your life. People will remember the moment you put your trust in God instead of questioning Him. Understand something sacred while this gate is open. Please keep in mind that each seed you plant in this quest will grow into a torch that shines light into another's darkness. Your activities contribute to a heavenly mission to save lost souls. Heaven progresses through the words of those who are willing, but it grows through the goodness of their souls. I'm currently addressing you in this method. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you, is more than just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that will shape your future. I'd like to extend an invitation to you at this time through a simple act of trust. Approach this situation with a feeling of purpose, honesty, and hope. The amount you contribute today is not a donation. Your heavens are opened via the act of spiritual obedience. Relinquish your seed and witness what rewards God delivers into your life. He declares that I will pour back into you, pressed down and overflowing as you pour out. When you are compelled to act, your obedience is consistent with the treasure in heaven. When the ground has been prepared, do not hesitate to plant. Individuals who are truly committed to their beliefs will face unexpected opportunities. Begin participating in this prophetic moment immediately. Anointed listener, it appears that something has already happened as you expressed your agreement. Whether you can see it or not, the atmosphere around your name has changed. When your heart synchronized with the timing of heaven, a signal was transmitted. Archangel Michael did not sit back and do nothing. Movement was observed. In the spirit world, transactions happen at the speed of light. Changes that take years to manifest in the physical world can be implemented in a matter of seconds in the unseen realm. This is the reason why faith is so strong. It overcomes obvious obstacles and establishes a direct connection to divine power. Furthermore, issues cannot be resolved when power is transferred. Currently, conversations are being altered. Decisions are being modified. Paths that appeared to be closed at one point are now being reviewed. The check indicates that the funds were legally transferred, but the truth is revealed in layers. Priority is given to alignment, then spiritual enforcement, and finally, tangible evidence. You are situated between enforcement and evidence. This is the most important phase. Numerous people become disoriented in this location. They expect fireworks to occur immediately, and when they don't, they begin to have doubts. However, this is the most subdued part of the construction process. The foundation is being fortified to prevent the subsequent element from collapsing under its own weight. Archangel Michael ensures not only that your miracle occurs, but also that the location is stable. If the overflow reached a point of chaos, it would spread. If an abundance is introduced without a framework, it will escape. In this way, heaven prepares the vessel before pouring the oil into it. You are the vessel. Have you recently noticed an increase in clarity? Increasing one's ability to discern. You are no longer entertained by certain distractions. Certain relationships don't feel right. This distance was not determined at random. It's a work of divine perfection. You must carefully consider the position you are taking. The $1 trillion miracle check demonstrates size. However, size requires maturity. Heaven does not delegate significant responsibilities to people who are unprepared for them. If your name is recorded, it means that your preparation was reviewed and approved. However, there is one more matter that needs your attention tonight. Your cognitive processes. The adversary's final maneuver is deceptive. It won't be audible. It will manifest as peaceful thoughts, such as the possibility that this message isn't as bad as it seems, or that I should lower my expectations. The voice of limitation is attempting to reclaim the space it has eroded. Avoid that voice. Greed is not synonymous with expectation. The expectation derived from faith is consistent with God's promises. Remaining modest in the face of expectation shows your admiration for the person who gave the gift. The day is progressing hour by hour. As 9 o'clock approaches, the spiritual activity becomes more intense. This is similar to the final minutes before sunrise. Frequently, the darkest period of the day occurs just before the sun rises. If you notice a slight increase in resistance, you are on the verge of achieving your goal. Archangel Michael holds his position with unwavering authority. He remains stationary. He maintains his convictions. The items given to you will not be stolen. However, in order to reach an agreement, you must remain firm in your resolve. This miracle is more complicated than it seems. While it is important to obtain something, it is even more important to evolve into something else after acquiring it. Abundance alters one's identity by demonstrating it rather than defining it. When the pressure is removed, your true calling becomes clear. It was never intended for you to be in perpetual survival mode. It is difficult to distinguish due to survival. Overflow adds to its visibility. And heaven requires you to have a broader perspective because your responsibilities are greater than you realize. So, the check represents both release and commissioning. Responsibility grows in proportion to resources. As doors open, influence grows. This is not just a fortunate blessing. This is a strategic approach to granting people authority. Before you speak, some people may be aware of your transformation. They may feel a sense of assurance, tranquility, and certainty about their actions rather than confusion. The concept of alignment is expanding outward. Maintain your composure throughout this hour. Avoid engaging in pointless debates. Avoid locations that deplete your energy. Maintain your focus on yourself. Express your gratitude in advance. We thank God for the unseen work that has already been completed. This is the reality. Heaven does not participate in games. It prepares, then releases itself. Archangel Michael's assurance is not without merit. He is keeping payments that have been authorized. The final seals are being examined as the sun sets. There are no deficiencies, malfunctions, or tardiness. Now is the time for you to make a change. Draw a deep breath. Feel the weight of hope without fear. You're not pursuing anything delicate. You're getting a secure item. The events that follow will explain why you signed your signature before realizing you were eligible. Heart of Stone. Given the recent shift in mood, it is critical that you understand a specific concept. You were unable to sign the miracle check after praying for it. It was installed after you went through an experience that should have left you incapacitated. Before today's appearance on your calendar, Heaven has already recorded the duration of your life. You wept alone at night. You were strong on those days, despite feeling empty. When you choose honesty over more convenient options, all of those decisions were major ones. Those were memorable moments. Archangel Michael witnessed what happened. You thought you were just going through a difficult time, but there was actual documentation going on in the spirit. Proof of faith. Proof of loyalty and strength. And heaven does not ignore proof. It gets back to it. The $1 trillion miracle check represents a long-term reward. Not luck or chance, but spiritual credit accumulated over time. A sudden blessing and a planned release are not the same thing. What you are about to receive is ready. But there is more to it than that. Your name was not written in ink when you signed the check. It was written with agreement. A covenant is a promise supported by power. That which was agreed upon cannot be easily retracted. But belief is also required for covenant. If you do not take this moment seriously, it will lose its impact. If you don't pay attention, you won't realize how heavy it is. These days aren't dramatic just for fun. It's only for alignment. This date is significant because cycles are coming to a close behind you. You can't venture into new territory if you're stuck in your old identity. That's what tonight is all about. Change of identity. For too long, you've viewed yourself through the lens of what you can't do. You judged your potential based on the current situation. Your plans for the future are based on what has happened before. However, in heaven, you are known by your calling, not by your circumstances. Archangel Michael is not holding a gun to your doubts. He's keeping it for the future version of you. Can you feel the stress? It's about expanding your identity. The old mindset refused to let go, whereas the new mindset did. This internal transformation is required before external evidence can emerge. Because you have to be able to see the miracle as it occurs. If you continue to think in small terms, you risk missing out on a big opportunity. If you are still expecting to be disappointed, you may believe that the favor is simply a coincidence. Be cautious. There are already some of these signs. A completely unexpected message. An unexpected idea. Or a door that opens slightly. There will be additional tremors following this one. Heaven frequently speaks softly before it roars. As of 9 p.m., the spiritual atmosphere tightens, but not because people are afraid. They're focused. Archangel Michael is ensuring that there is no interference. This blessing will not be stolen. There will be no more delays than were necessary for planning. But you must agree. Take care with your thoughts tonight. If doubt arises, respond immediately with gratitude. If fear speaks, respond with faith. If you become impatient, take a deep breath and remember that God's timing is impeccable. This miracle is not coming to harm others. It is about to reposition you spiritually, emotionally, and financially. You'll soon be able to enter rooms where you previously felt unwelcome. You will start conversations in places where you were previously quiet. You will take risks that you previously avoided. A checkmark represents capacity, and having capacity implies courage. When expansion begins, do not pull back. Do not doubt your worth because others like you more. The same God who let you go through times of scarcity is now allowing you to go through times of abundance. And here's something not many people understand. Both hardship and overflow test one's character. Are you going to remain humble? Will you continue to be kind? Will you remain aligned? Archangel Michael is not only your guardian, but also a witness to your development, change, and the moment when you completely agree with what is being said. Tonight is not the time to try to get rich. It has to do with being restored. It is about regaining what has been lost due to delay. In other words, it's about living the life you were always meant to have. It's not like the treasury is closing to punish you. It is coming to an end to mark the change. When an hour passes, a new cycle begins. What you see in this window, on the other hand, accelerates what happens next. Avoid moving. Feel how heavy the objects that are moving are. It was signed because it was assumed that you were prepared. And what happens in the next few seconds will undoubtedly prove that this release has already occurred. Someone with courage. The hardest part is always the final few days before manifestation. Not because something is wrong, but because everything is going to plan. It's like pulling back a bow before releasing the arrow. The tension is needed for the distance. To be precise, you need the pressure. That holy tension is what you're feeling right now. Archangel Michael is still there. The fact is that he is more present than ever in your life. The check for $1 trillion is still safe. But now the spiritual atmosphere is full of completion. This part of the process is almost over. What's left is your firm position. At this point, there is a small test that is given. This test is for how consistent you are. Can you believe without seeing proof? Can you speak with confidence without anyone else confirming it? Can you stay in line even if the clock starts to tick faster? This is where a lot of people fail. At first they were brave, then they were excited, and finally they were hesitant. That shouldn't be your story. You've come too far to back down now that you're on the verge of making progress. At this very important moment, I need you to make a statement that solidifies your position. In the comment section, type, "I will not retreat." Make a promise to God that you will stay strong until you reach your goal. When you type it, you're not just leaving a comment. You're also painting a line in the air that doubt can't cross. It's important to remember that today is the end of something. Everything you went through led to this turning point. But the end doesn't always look dramatic at first. It can look like calm certainty at times. At times it looks like a deep knowing that won't be shaken. That deep knowing is coming up in you right now. You can feel that this is bigger than feelings, hype, and your imagination. There is movement in the real world. Then there will be something measurable. The check is a sign. Yes, but you will be able to see the results. Also, be careful about this right now. Do not share your hopes with people who can't handle them. Not everyone can figure out divine timing. Spiritual alignment isn't respected by everyone. Like a seed planted in healthy soil, guard this moment. Before they break through the ground, seeds grow in quiet places. Archangel Michael stands at the entrance to your next level like a guardian. His blessing is not the only thing he has. He is getting rid of interference. If some distractions go away all of a sudden, don't go after them. Should some people pull away, don't freak out. Not everything that goes away is a loss. Sometimes it's just extra space. Speaking thanks all the time gets easier as the time gets closer. Being grateful is agreeing ahead of time. Gratitude keeps faith strong. Being grateful keeps your heart in line with being humble. Pay close attention. Your answer right now is important for more than just this moment. When you speak out, declare, or take part, you anchor the shift. So if this message makes you stronger, show how your faith works. Like this message, share it with an individual who is experiencing a sense of impending progress. Add a bold comment to your statement. To ensure that you consistently walk in divine alignment, it is recommended that you subscribe to this channel. Become a member if you are compelled to align yourself more closely with this mission. Engagement is not limited to online activities. It is participating in momentum. Additionally, contemplate a significant matter prior to departing at this time. This revelation was directed toward you due to your uniqueness. You are attuned to spiritual matters. You are aware when timing calls your name. Although a significant number of individuals may hear words, only a small number are capable of discerning when an object is activated. The activation is currently occurring. Archangel Michael is not in a hurry. However, the deadline is rapidly approaching. The atmosphere is replete with a sense of reverence. Attention, rather than anxiety or stress. Things undergo rapid transformation when heaven concentrates. You may experience oscillations between waves of tranquility and waves of excitement. That's logical. Your spirit is adapting to the process of expansion. Your soul's knowledge is now being comprehended by your mind. Avoid moving. At this juncture, alignment transitions into manifestation. The information you are about to receive will elucidate the reason why the Treasury does not retain this check indefinitely, but rather releases it at predetermined intervals that are unalterable. Pay close attention, as the subsequent events will substantiate all of your previous impressions. This check has not been present in the heavenly bank account for an extended period, my observant soul. The reason is not that there is no longer a heaven, rather the transfer is regulated by time. The divine cycles are exceedingly precise. Additionally, windows operate without hesitation. You ought to now comprehend something more thoroughly. Obedience, prayers, and faithfulness are stored in the treasury. Heaven maintains a record of all the sincere sacrifices that are rendered. However, release is contingent upon readiness. If a blessing is not claimed during its designated period, it remains in effect. It has been relocated to a different timeline. That is the reason why today is so significant. This is the point at which the preparation timeline and your timeline intersect. At a specific hour, years of endurance have culminated. Archangel Michael serves as evidence that you are mature enough to be released at this level. However, it is imperative that adults take action. The laws of the real world are the same as those of religion. The fall of objects is a consequence of gravity. Alignment attracts blessing toward agreement. When your thoughts, words, and expectations are in alignment with divine intention, it is inevitable that events progress more rapidly. This is the reason why subscriptions are more critical than you may realize. When you click the subscribe button, you are not merely keeping up with a channel. You are establishing a consistent pattern of prophetic alignment. It is as though a divine appointment is occurring each time a new video is released. The operation of heaven is facilitated by the repetition of truth and rhythm. You are informing the cycle by subscribing. I agree to maintain alignment. I will not stray. I desire for each prophetic word, activation, and shift to be delivered to me at the appropriate time. However, if you hesitate, the cycle will continue without you. Please ensure that this is not misunderstood. God's love remains with you, but opportunities come and go. Assignments undergo modifications. Windows are closed and new ones appear at a later time. Time is valuable, and it has an impact. You have been forced to endure an inordinate amount of time. The check is about more than just money. The goal is to reclaim the energy depleted by difficult times, accelerate progress that has been stalled, and make up for lost time. Heaven does not accumulate gradually when compensating for an imbalance. It causes substantial restoration. The presence of Archangel Michael in the area suggests that protected territory is under threat. This blessing is not insignificant. This expansion is marked by a shift in direction. Naturally, this is why interference intensified as the deadline approached. The closer you get to breaking through, the more resistance you'll encounter. Have you noticed how many distractions there are today that try to divert your attention? Unexpected interruptions, minor irritations, and uncertainties that quietly infiltrate. These are the final attempts to dislodge you from alignment. Maintain equilibrium. Currently, the most potent state of mind is one of calm confidence. Neither anxious striving nor emotional excitement. Again, confidence and tranquility. You demonstrate readiness by standing confidently. Next, we'll get into a more serious topic. Being certain does not imply that one knows everything. It implies you have faith in the person who does. Archangel Michael does not disclose the entire plan. He ensures that previously agreed upon actions are taken. Agreeing is your responsibility. He is in charge of enforcement. As the night progresses, imagine the heavenly treasure chest as a vault of golden light. It keeps track of your unwavering commitment, prayers, and sacrifices. Due to the fullness of this account, a check in your name is extracted from the vault. Chund. Fullness indicates that all preparations have been completed. To complete the task, everyone must participate. This is not a request that heaven relocate. Heaven has already relocated. Going with the flow is the goal. Currently, the flow is robust. Clear thoughts, unexpected ideas, and a sense of urgency to make decisions may come in waves. This section illustrates the initial indications. Breakthroughs almost never happen on their own. Instead of thinking about anxiety, focus on thoughts that make you feel calm. And I truly understand this. It is possible that the miracle will not occur as expected. It could take the form of an opportunity rather than cash, a partnership rather than solitude, or a strategy rather than an abrupt deposit. However, its value will exceed expectations. Do not limit it with a small mindset. The term $1 trillion refers to an amount of money that is beyond comprehension. It represents something valuable that cannot be quantified. The world and heaven do not all agree on what enough means. As the world comes to an end, you will be evaluated by God. Avoid contracting. Have no doubt. We must not act as if this is a normal day. You were disconnected with a reason. You were placed in that position for a specific reason. You were ready for a reason. Archangel Michael is not the one who holds the check. For someone with more appropriate qualifications. He's retaining it for you because his endurance qualifies him. The cycle is nearing its end point. Maintain your commitment to the agreement. Maintain a steady attitude. You will also understand why your response in these final moments affects the rate at which information multiplies upon arrival in the subsequent revelation. The secret hidden within this moment is multiplication, shining soul. The item you're about to purchase will undergo a transformation. The $1 trillion check will not be issued in a single transaction. It starts a chain reaction. It's a seed that resembles money. Your response determines how it spreads after it appears. Archangel Michael is also in charge of overseeing the transition to stewardship as well as the release. Acquiring an item and managing it are two separate concepts. Many people are pleased with their arrival, but not with their expansion. This is because they were prepared for breakthroughs, but not for responsibilities. However, you have been shaped in places that are not widely known. Consider all of your experiences. Discipline acquired with insufficient resources. The knowledge gained through the act of making mistakes. Betrayal improved one's discernment ability. It was meticulously planned. Those experiences gave you the ability to handle a large amount of information without appearing arrogant. Humility facilitates growth. As the day comes to an end, the spiritual atmosphere becomes increasingly charged with a sense of accomplishment. The bank account is ready. The authorization includes a seal. Your signature is now valid. However, there is one more consideration: being observed by the heavens. Your position. Are you ready to handle an increased workload without losing your equilibrium? This is not a deceptive inquiry. It is an invitation for more in-depth reflection. Abundance strengthens what is already present in one's life. Gratitude is more common when it is present. Its presence encourages generosity. If the insecurity persists, it will become more severe. This is why this moment is so significant. It entails enhancing the interior of your home before expanding the exterior. Archangel Michael maintains his status as a symbol of fortitude without arrogance. This is the model you're using. Strength that stems from a purpose rather than one's ego. Authority is demonstrated by maintaining peace rather than exercising control. This check represents a huge opportunity, but it will be implemented gradually. Access is the first step, followed by growth and influence. I'd like you to reiterate your readiness as the expansion approaches. Please type the word Amen once more in the comments section. Increase the potency of this second Amen when compared to the first. Let it be the sound of your spirit cooperating with God's plan. As you write it, imagine your name being fully approved for the upcoming release. When you see it as a trophy rather than a prize, the trust you receive increases. There are people in your life who will benefit from your obedience tonight. Sharing becomes a priestly duty at this point. You are currently contemplating a person. A friend, family member, or coworker is someone who is either stuck, has been late, or needs confirmation that their window is still open. When you distribute this video, you aren't just sending another file. You are providing a lifeline. 9. It will also break through for them as the anointing does for you. Heaven honors those who shine a light on others. So, give it a moment. Select the Share button. Please forward it to the person who first came to mind. Send a text message. Raise it. Relief will be provided to family members, and communities will be affected. When seeds are planted, they may grow into forests that are never completely visible. Divine multiplication works in this way. However, the initial phase requires mutual consent. If doubt convinces you that you are undeserving of more, silence it immediately. The covenant established worthiness, not perfection. You were qualified because of your preparation. Your faith had a profound effect on you. In addition, there is a deeper truth. When you multiply, you become a channel, not a container. Channels facilitate positive outcomes. Items are temporarily stored in containers. Information continues to be transmitted via channels. Heaven prefers channels. As the deadline approaches, you will realize how important this assignment is. You are not simply claiming that you have the ability to perform miracles. You are accepting a responsibility that will have far-reaching consequences beyond your own personal well-being. This is why your name was included. In addition to receiving, you can also contribute. Type 1 in the comments to proceed to multiplication. If you identify with this, the blessing code 8282 has been applied to your life. As you enter this revelation, be aware that your response is now resonating beyond this screen. As you go through this awakening, remember that your assistance with this endeavor is not a hoax. It's a heavenly omen. Jesus claims that by giving water to others, you will receive it yourself. This isn't historical. It is an ongoing commitment to your future. Approach this situation with a strategy and faith. Giving can help you realize the potential that God has already built for your life. The treasury remains open, but the cycle is becoming more constrained. The subsequent events will reveal the final spiritual key, which will determine whether this multiplication occurs quickly or gradually over time. Remain steadfast, because the ultimate revelation will determine everything. A person who is awake. The final spiritual key is to not work. It's surrendering. Refrain from passive surrender. Abandon alignment, the type that retains self-assurance while giving up control. This type asserts that I am confident in the process because I believe in the person who created it. When surrender is used instead of strain, multiplication accelerates. You attempted to induce events after years of careful planning and mathematical calculations. In contrast, force does not change the current situation. It responds to release with faith. Sounds. Archangel Michael is not attempting to persuade heaven to grant you favor. The blessing had already been bestowed. Internal resistance is the only form of friction that remains. There is a subtle difference between anxiety and excitement. We anticipate positive developments. Anxiety is defined by concern about the loss of possessions. Your attitude matters more than you realize in the hours leading up to 9 o'clock at night. You are in sync with speed when you maintain a calm expectation. Your own reception is hampered by excessive worry and reflection. This is why the last step is to surrender. Surrender refers to the act of receiving without grasping. The statement is that I aligned without using force. It asserts that I am more confident in God's timing than in my own. It makes sense to multiply in that area. Look to Archangel Michael to remind you that strength does not equal strain. So, despite his formidable strength, he keeps a calm demeanor. That is the energy required at this time. They are not attempting to demonstrate preparedness, franticness, or desperation. Keeping a consistent pace. The $1 trillion miracle check serves as a measure of the scale of events. However, stability must come before size. Giving up confidence brings about stability. Consider the numerous times you've attempted to change the past, the exhaustion it caused, and the unpredictable results. Consider instances in which you trusted and allowed events to unfold. Doors were more easily opened, and opportunities arose unexpectedly. You will continue to follow that pattern for an extended period of time. Today is not about one miracle. It refers to altering one's lifestyle, from contemplating scarcity to considering abundance, from a desire for trust and stewardship over the resources you have been given. Next, we'll get into a more serious topic. When you properly surrender, you do not become passive. The lack of fear makes you more resilient. You're reacting to a specific reason. The spiritual treasury is nearing the end of this cycle, and the atmosphere is almost silent, reminiscent of the silence before a declaration. It is holy to stay in that state. Do not take this as an indication of a delay. It provides confirmation that alignment has been achieved. You may have the sensation that a task has been completed. It is possible that your breathing will slow and your mind will become more concentrated. That entails abandoning the prospect of establishing a foundation. Archangel Michael is not in any hurry. He is assessing your calmness by observing your posture. Peace leads to rapid progress toward freedom. Also, ensure that you understand this. When you multiply objects, their appearance will change from what you expected. It may begin as a single strategic opportunity and grow into multiple opportunities. It could start with a simple conversation that helps a network run smoothly. It may appear to be a single concept that drives the creation of streams of provision. Do not belittle the humble beginnings. Each time you multiply, you start with a seed. The check indicates the seed's value, not its size. Even symbolic abundance can be transformed into genuine overflow if properly planted. Make an effort to avoid looking at the clock as 9 o'clock approaches. You're not at odds with time. Proof is yours. The moment is not passing. It is perfectly aligned. Immediately give up all possessions. Remove any remaining uncertainty. Dispel any suppressed anxiety about success. Abandon the notion that you must work for blessings. It is critical that you do not allow those outdated habits to persist as you age. You are adjusting to a new rhythm. In this rhythm, surrendering is a source of strength. The final revelation will permanently alter this moment by changing the way heaven responds to your agreement rather than just a fleeting sensation. Continue to hold on to your knowledge, as the events that follow will determine how courageous you are in confronting the predetermined circumstances. Heart of steel. The long-term transformation begins when you realize that this is not just a temporary, enjoyable experience, but a new way of life for you. The events of today are not meant to fade as the hours pass. It aims to change your perspective on provision, timing, and identity. Archangel Michael still exists, despite the fact that something has changed. There is no longer any tension surrounding the check. There is no certainty. The cycle of enforcement has ended. The authorization remains valid. Right now, the focus is on you. We are not testing you. Rather, we are encouraging your development. Because claiming a miracle without a shift in perspective results in a memory rather than a movement. Nobody prevented you from devoting a few minutes to finding inspiration today. You were told to align for the better. If you receive the $1 trillion miracle check, it shows that God believes in you. Heaven would not grant you magnitude if it suspected that you intended to abuse it. Therefore, be open with yourself. Who are you evolving into? This is not a question about what you did last year. This is not a reflection of your behavior during your most difficult period. What are you currently transitioning to? The level of courage with which you proceed after this moment is determined by your response to that inquiry. It is a powerful act to consciously advance spiritually. Many people undergo transformations without their knowledge. You, on the other hand, are actively seeking advancement. You're aware that something has changed. You are aware that surrender enables acceleration. You are aware that multiplication takes place prior to alignment. Being aware of this allows the change to last longer. The presence of Archangel Michael ensures the safety of the current situation, not only to protect resources, but also to preserve direction. It will be easier for you to make decisions. Tasks that once perplexed you will now appear simple. Initially difficult decisions will now appear straightforward. This is the result of receiving a strong foundation from heaven. However, be cautious. Because of the events that occurred, the world will work to restore its equilibrium. It will argue that the emotion was merely a feeling, or that nothing significant happened. Reject that narrative. Changes within an individual cause external evidence. The fact that something started without being observed does not make it imaginary. Be cautious about this change. Change the way you discuss your future. Do not expect identical results from your endeavors. Change your behavior in environments that previously frightened you. The miracle check represented something valuable. Your position is influenced by your value. Furthermore, if this message has been helpful to you, please do not keep it to yourself. By liking this video, you are declaring your intention to enter a state of permanent alignment. Share it with someone who needs confirmation that their period of anticipation is over. Say what you're claiming tonight with boldness. Subscribing to this channel will allow you to consistently navigate these divine transformations. Join if you feel compelled to become more involved in this mission and gain a better understanding of it. This is because your participation in the process reinforces your own and others' transformations. Furthermore, you must maintain a firm grip on another truth. The treasury was shut down at the appropriate time, however, the assets you protect remain operational. Your agreement remains unchanged. The device you activated expands. The thing you gave up becomes your new form of rhythm. We are no longer searching for miracles. The goal is to maintain the momentum. The momentum is initially weak. It needs to be maintained or cared for with faith. Avoid allowing negative circumstances to dominate. Avoid allowing comparisons to undermine its strength. Avoid allowing old habits to deplete it. Archangel Michael's role has shifted from overseeing releases to overseeing your development. Additionally, growth requires consistency. As the evening progresses, you will notice a transformation in yourself. A firm commitment, composed authority, and a resolute refusal to yield. That is a permanent shift toward stability. The following information will explain why this entire period was not solely focused on obtaining an object from heaven. It was also about setting a living example that would encourage others to participate during their own designated time. Don't let go, because the final revelation will definitively end everything that has begun. Maintain the flame. What you initiated is no longer a secret. The modification you made was never intended to be hidden. The day you were supposed to cross was today. But the goal of crossing is not to separate people. It has an impact. Archangel Michael did not simply oversee your miracle in order to relieve your distress. He protected it because your word is important in areas you have yet to visit. At this level of investment, heaven anticipates a multiplicative return. There are people who stay silent and observe your life. Others, including family and friends, have observed your diligence and loyalty. Even strangers have noticed that something is wrong with your demeanor. When your breakthrough becomes apparent, it will provide answers to the questions they had been hesitant to ask. This explains why the shift must continue. Temporary excitement cannot have a long-lasting effect. The only way to accomplish this is through root transformation. Furthermore, the transformation you experienced this evening was profound. The trillion-dollar miracle check represented an intangible value. However, now that you have reached an agreement, you must maintain that value. Avoid discussing oneself in a way that suggests one is not important. Avoid restricting your capabilities. Avoid continuing to tell stories about your limitations. Your former self is not the same as your current self. When Archangel Michael is present, he acts as a truth warrior. Joe, remember that your errors do not determine your identity. It is determined by God's decisions. Act as if you are in control every time you enter a room, because you are. Next, we'll get into a more serious topic. Minor confirmations will begin to appear over the next few days. Clear statements, not large, boisterous signs. A phone call that creates opportunity. An idea that becomes a plan. A connection that allows people to collaborate. These are not random events. They provide evidence. Don't disregard them. Heaven rarely makes any noise to alert people to its presence. Undoubtedly, it meets its own expectations. A treasury release is confirmed as genuine when a large number of factors coincide. However, power attracts attention. Your abrupt transformation may perplex some people. Some people may even question you because they are concerned about your confidence. Avoid absorbing that energy. Maintain your composure. Maintain your position on the ground. Stay grateful. When people disagreed with Archangel Michael, he avoided getting into arguments. He persists until the opposition surrenders. This is the model you're using. Your address will not contain excessive bravado. This will be constant over time. People will notice that you are acting differently if they see you being more composed in stressful situations, more confident in your decisions, or more assertive in your presence. When they ask about the methodology, you will respond based on practical experience rather than theoretical concepts. Today is going to be a watershed moment in your life, separating the past from the future. That date is significant, but not because of its significance. Following that, it is time for long-term alignment. You must now understand an additional level. The miracle was about more than just provision. Yes, it was satisfactory. Allowance to take a broader view. Authorization to demonstrate greater courage. Authorization to follow the vision without requiring an apology. Permission alters people's behavior. You do not hesitate when you are certain that you are permitted to do something. Please avoid providing too much information. You no longer wait for others to agree with your point of view. Archangel, keep in mind that Michael's position around you is derived from heaven, not from individuals. Doors that were initially difficult to open will become easier to open over time. Prepare for previously unthinkable conversations to become natural. Expect previously inaccessible opportunities to suddenly become available. However, do not act in haste. Walk with caution. Display responsible behavior. Remain in the appropriate location, as the final revelation will bring this journey to a close with a statement that turns your experience into a living altar. This sign will demonstrate the reality of divine timing, the possibility of multiplication through surrender, and the fact that heaven will not erase the writing on your name. Maintain your focus on the last few words. They will treat this change as a covenant, not a mere coincidence. The chosen vessel is now ready to be sealed. A confirmation from God rather than a dramatic ending. Today, there was never any concern about a deadline. It was intended to notify you of your authorization. The treasury, the check, and the importance of acting quickly were not intended to cause you anxiety. It was designed to establish you in your current position. You now understand the concept. Archangel Michael did not offer you a $1 trillion check to encourage you to become wealthy. He was present as proof of the divine will for your life. Money was not a factor. It was about your identity. It was about heaven informing us that this person is ready to move quickly, to grow, to make a difference, to be a steward, and to make a difference. Despite the passage of an hour, the position you took remains valid. The statements you made in faith were not credited to your bank account. It transforms into motion. Currently, the distinction is discernible. There's no sense of urgency or fear. There is only tranquility. The seal is in a constant state. You did not overlook it, despite the fact that it had ended. You started looking into it right away. It has ended for you. You formed a line. What you possess. Archangel Michael has transitioned from guardian of release to guardian of growth. It will be maintained as it grows. You will get crystal clear concepts. The connections will be in line with the objective. Provision will manifest in unexpected ways, but you will notice it right away thanks to the discernment training your spirit has received. This is not just hyperbole. Change is happening in this location. While today was not the most miraculous event, the check itself will live on in your memory. It was a transformation within you. The fear that previously held you back is no longer a factor. The uncertainty that once made you question your worth has vanished. You can now move forward without the uncertainty that previously hampered you. You are currently acting in a different manner. You communicate from your heart. You're satisfied with your decision. You are certain about the outcome. That is genuine wealth. The language of trillions of dollars represented infinite value. However, the true gift of heaven was the ability to perceive clearly. You no longer consider the issue of survival. You are considering the role of steward. You are no longer concerned with, will I have an adequate supply? Instead, you are interested in determining how far this can be expanded. The question has a significant impact on everything. Archangel Michael's presence confirms one final truth. When heaven inscribes your name on an object, it makes no change to its decision. It continues without hesitation. It is not taken without justification. I want you to do something that will allow heaven's favor to flow over you while you sit calmly and confidently. The like button should be clicked as a spiritual gesture, not just for goodwill. When you click the like button, you tell the heavens that you agree with the information presented. I agree with the modification that has occurred. With a single action, this video creates a flow of divine favor in your life. This demonstrates that you did not just observe, but also actively participated. However, there is one more task I would like you to complete. This video should be shared not only for the algorithm's benefit, but also because it is currently required by someone in your network. Someone close to you is about to surrender. They are about to scroll past the key that they discovered. Furthermore, the fact that you are currently in possession of this message shows that they have faith in your ability to convey it. When someone shares, they are transformed into a messenger that angels can recognize. By complying, you are broadening the scope of Archangel Michael. Finally, if you have not already done so, now is an excellent time to subscribe. The purpose of this channel is to help with prophetic alignment. Each video is intended to meet you at the exact point in your journey, to speak to your season, and to facilitate the transformations that God has already authorized. When you subscribe, you aren't just adding your name to a list. You are making appointments with God. You are communicating to God your desire for each release, activation, and prophetic word that comes from this ministry. Please ensure that you do not miss any additional videos. Do not allow another deadline to pass without being prepared. Currently, select the subscribe button. It is critical that it have official standing. Following that, press the bell to ensure that you don't miss the moment when heaven speaks directly to you. As you do this, you secure your position beneath the open sky. You were deceived into accepting the gift. Walking in a manner that is acceptable is now the norm. Keep this alignment in mind when dealing with problems. Seize opportunities as they arise. Fear will try to whisper once more. However, you should point out that your signature has already been accepted in heaven. Please listen carefully as this covenant comes to an end. You are on the verge of entering a fortunate future. Don't forget that this message doesn't end with your deeds. Users may use your invention to achieve their destinations. Jesus' words, "Give and heaven will open over you," are not poetry. Every seed you sow grows into oil for your future, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. My sweetheart, the moment has come for you. Have faith, and you will see God multiply the possessions you relinquish. Before we wrap up this captivating story, I recommend that we take a moment to reflect on this deep reality. This message was not discovered coincidentally. This is not just a coincidence. This is Archangel Michael's direct message to you. He extends his hand and invites you to a high-vibration, safe community where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise. This spiritual idea is quite simple. Nonetheless, it has the capacity to transform your entire life. You will not just gain blessings if you follow it. They will multiply and permeate all aspects of your existence. Accepting this invitation grants you immediate, early access to potent content and heavenly insights that are now unavailable to the broader public. You now have the opportunity to enter a sacred area where you will receive unshakable support, spiritual guidance, and speedy progress towards your destiny. Do not miss out on this historic opportunity. Your triumph is near. Action is required. Your abundance is ready.